Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do Orxon as Clank in one visit, also known as Poki skip. This is going to be a tutorial on how to do this on New Game Plus, where you have the goodies menu and in-level movies. This will not be a tutorial on how to do this in any percent. Any percent uses a lot of different methods, and I frankly do not know how to do it in any percent. So let's just jump straight into it. So I'm going to destroy these crates here, and I'm just going to immediately tell you the thing you're going to have to learn in order to learn Poki skip is you're going to learn how to ledge proxy with Clank. So, big thing with Clank is whenever you're near a ledge and you press square, just tapping square, you're going to need to look at the input display in the bottom right corner a lot. Because you need to be able to hyper-analyze all the inputs that I'm doing in this video in order for you to be able to do this. Poki skip is hard to learn, but once you put in, like, I probably have on average, I think I want to say like 25 hours in this level. So it's really not that bad. I'm not the most advanced at it. I'm like intermediate at Poki skip right now, but I'm good enough to the point where I'm doing it in runs and I'm saving a lot of time with it. So put some proper time into it and you'll get it down. So again, when you're near a ledge, you can punch as many times as you want. Clank will not fall off the ledge. And this is very useful for lining up these ledge proxies. So the way a ledge proxy works, I'll show you and then I'll break it down to you, is you want to line up Clank in a certain way, line up with the camera, then face the camera below the level, have Clank face the level, and then execute the proxy. That's how the whole process works. There's like a little 4 or 5 step program. So the way this first one works is a little different than the other ones because there's actually the crate stack that I destroyed right here. Clank will actually auto-target onto it once you've lined things up, which is pretty annoying. As you can see, like, I'm just going to line this up and all that stuff. I'm going to try to line this up and boom, he just like auto-punches over to this. It's pretty annoying. So the way you want to do this is, yeah, just punch to the edge of this bush. When you're standing next to the bush, you actually gain a little bit more height off your proxy, which is a weird quirk. And I'm going to be using a lot of edge of screen lineups in this video. I'm going to get my trusty Franker Z out here. And an edge of screen lineup is stuff that's at the edge of the screen to like get it just off screen. So like this crate is off screen or this ooze is just off screen, and that's actually the visual cue for this one. This ooze that's spilling out of this little thing here, you want to get that off screen right there. You don't want to be looking at it. You can be looking like, a little bit over here, or you can be looking a little bit there. Like, it's not that precise, right? But as close to that as you can. If you're trying to speed up your Poki skips, you don't have to, you can line that up. You can line the camera up where you like zoom right into it and then you zoom out. And like this will probably work, So don't worry about it being ultra precise. So when you let go here, normally, so when you let go of any L1, you always want to be holding down on the analog stick like that. So get the camera below Clank. Now, the whole point of these ledge proxies is that when you're turning the camera, so now the camera's below the level. If I try to turn the camera to the right, I'm holding down, I try to turn the camera to the right, this wall, big ass wall here, is in the way. So I'll show you what that looks like. You see how the camera zooms into Clank, and then it frees itself by going over the ledge. And now I can turn the camera, because now there's nothing in the way. You see that? That movement is what gives us the proxy. So, we're going to line this up, and we're going to press down and then square here. You can fall in the acid sometimes with this. It's a little annoying. But because of the auto-target thing with the crates, you have to press down before square. It's the other way around for every other setup. It's a little annoying, I know. So go down, and then square. So you line this up. And now what we're going to do is when you're in this position, you want to circle the right analog stick you see down here. You see it? You want to circle it from down to right and then X at the same time. So like this. You see that? Go from down and to the right and X at the same time. Boom. Like that. So now Clank will jump and the camera will begin going in towards him. Then when you land, you press square. Did not work there. Sometimes you'll get that little hump. I was also just, screwing around with the menu there. And yeah, see, that's what'll happen there. It's a little annoying. Don't want to be getting that. Yeah, It happens a lot. It's annoying on this first one. I have not found a better method to get past this so far. Oh yeah, there you go. That's how you execute the proxy. When you actually get this proxy, I recommend flying in the air for about a quarter of a second before you actually start moving, because you get a little bit more height with it. You'll actually know that if you watch old New Game Plus speedruns that did the pipe clip over here, if you tried to move after you got the proxy, you would lose height and you would not be able to clip up through those railings to the gas bar infobot up there, or the Poki infobot that's up there. So let's line this up again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna not move for like a quarter of a second, and then we're gonna move down to those rocks, and I'm gonna try to aim Clank's legs between this spot in the mountain right here, where it's kind of light here and it's a bit darker here. That's the big goal. Let's line this up again. We're gonna punch here. We're going to line this up, get the camera down, and then square, execute the proxy. And then we waited a little bit, and then you want to do a little bit of glide pumping and get Clank's legs between that spot that I talked about. Now, if you keep going in this direction, you're going to get stuck, which is perfect. Once you get a little bit stuck, like that, you glide around to the right, and you want to glide into the rocks. It can be a little tricky to get the height right at the first time. Whenever I was doing this at first, I was not landing on this platform very often, and then I started ledge grabbing every time, and then after that, I started landing with no ledge grab. So once you get it down, it is actually pretty easy overall. You can Clank clip through that wall to save about 1 second, but we're going to go ahead and destroy these. I'm just going to show you. There is actually an invisible wall here, so you do need to get past... you do need to destroy those. The reason the wall is there is because... the reason the wall doesn't load in is because you're not meant to be down here as Clank, you know. Visual bug. So, here's the infobot. How do we get over to it? More ledge proxies. We're going to do a bunch of ledge proxies today. I'm going to teach you my setup for this. Most runners will look this way for a proxy. I had a lot of issues with that. So, I look this way, which actually makes sense when you look at the ledge here. The ledge is actually a lot bigger to get the camera under the level on this side because it's sharper. It cuts inwards more. So what you're going to do is there's kind of this spike in the level here. You're going to want to punch into it. If not, be a little bit above it. You see how, like, I'm kind of right on it right now. But if you want to err to the side of an error, if you don't want to be down here. You see how I'm kind of down in the spike? You want to be, like, a little bit above it. If anything. But you want to, like, kind of be right on it, basically. So once you have this down, you line this up. Just kind of... I don't really have a lineup for this. This is a very easy one. You do the same thing as before. Let go of L1, get the camera below, and then you execute the proxy. And of course that happens. That happens every now and then. It's usually a positioning error, I think, for the most part. I get that one a lot on the first one, on the first proxy, where Clank will do a little jump like that, and then you'll get it. So yeah, I'm not really, I'm doing this in a tutorial form, so. It's a little awkward. There we go. You want to do 2 little glide pumps, and then you'll make it over to that spot. So that's position 1 reached. Now, here's the magnet rail, which a lot of people seem to have a lot of issues with. In my opinion, this is one of the easiest parts of PokeSkip, actually. And I'll teach you exactly why. So, you know how, like, you want to press X and then circle the stick at the same time, kind of like that, like I told you? This is an exception. What you want to do here is you want to wait until Clank is at the apex of his jump and then turn the camera into him. And that way you'll get this proxy basically every time. So get all the way up to the right side here. Do some punches. And then you want to line up with the second screw here. The second screw. Keep that on the right side of the screen and give it a little breathing room. Like it's about here. I give it a little breathing room. So about here. It can probably be like here. Or it can be like all the way over here, but just keep it here, roughly. So then what you want to do, again, is the same thing. Press square first, then down. Now from here on out, you want to press square first and then down, because there's nothing to auto-lock onto. Now when you're down here, you want to jump first. And then when Clank is at the apex, you turn the camera in under the magnet rail, and then you want to punch. The moment you punch, you want to hit start to play an in-level movie. And playing an in-level movie right as Clank, it basically stems from this trick that you can also use at a certain part, is when Clank leaves the ground, and you press and you play an in-level movie like this, and you insta-skip it, he'll gain a higher jump, kind of like that. If you do this as you're at the peak of your jump, kind of like this, his jump will be much lower. So playing an in-level movie right as Clank leaves the ground, usually indicated by like, there's like a frame 1 where you want to do it, you know? Kind of hard. I'm doing it with 2 fingers. There we go. That's frame 2. Frame 2 is decent. So now you'll get decent little high jump. That's frame 1. Now you get the max height. So the same thing works here, where if you play an in-level movie, the moment Clank leaves the ground, like, you know, the moment he like shoots up immediately, basically the frame after he gets launched. If you play an in-level movie on that frame, you'll get the most height. And that'll be important because we have multiple in-level movie ledge proxies. So line this up. Look backwards. Line this up, jump, and hit square, and play the in-level movie. And boom. You see? Now, obviously, I didn't make it because I wasn't intending to... I wanted to show it a second time, but you need to be holding outwards right away, like straight out towards the rail. You don't want to land on top of the slope. You want to be getting outwards towards the goop and then curve again. But I wanted to show it one more time here. But that was a ledge grabless for sure if I actually went for it. So we're going to do it again. That'll work too. That might ledge grab, but... Oh, that was very close. But you can see it's really not that bad. If you turn the camera while Clank is at his apex, like exactly like that, that might be kind of close as well. Nope, there we go. We got it. So, really not that bad. Not bad at all. All right, here's another fairly easy ledge proxy. All you got to do is I basically have like Clank's head kind of lined up with it's kind of weird, like the left side of this thing up here. So like you can see how his head is like kind of lined up straight with like this thing. I'm a little bit off, but it doesn't really matter again. And this one I don't even line up personally in runs, but you can do it if you want. So like I punch, you know, I line it up, look down, punch downwards, and then you do the proxy. And then you want to glide down onto this, close to this infobot right here. And then you want to glide down back towards this. So that's position 2. That was the one that we couldn't find for a long time. That's the one, that's the tough one. Now there's a couple things you can do here. You can either ledge proxy from this ledge right here. You can look at a Toppy's record for that. Or you can big Clank jump across this gap. I like the big Clank jump more. I think it's faster if you get it first try, but not by much. So choose your, you know, pick your poison here. So what I do is I hold forward until Clank walks past this silver line in the ground. And then I try to get a one-framer. You can do it with a two-framer, but you need to be like right at the edge. You also can't be getting the jump over the edge here because when you play the in-level movie, Clank will zip down to the bottom of the map and he'll fall right into the goop. So I'll try to like walk across this here, and that's a one-framer right there. So right as Clank is descending from this jump, you want to glide. And you'll make it pretty easily. Like that. There we go. That's what I do. Alright, next one. This one's a little tricky. Again, I do a different setup here. I go here, punch inwards to this spike. At the bottom of the spike, in fact. Right before the spike. Right here. Now, there's a couple of these little pods or whatever they are on the wall. This long one, that's right in front of you here. You want to get that one off screen on the left. So you want to do that. You can also use the moss on the right. I just noticed that that's also a pretty good cue. You can use this moss or something like that, you know. The reason I use these edge things instead of like the middle a lot of the time is because there's no reticle, so you don't have a way to line things up. And here you want to do another one where you play an in-level movie. So I lined it up, get the camera below, punch backwards, do that. And whenever you do this one, I also recommend doing the same thing you did at the beginning of the level. Make Clank float like for like half a second, because if you get a bad outcome on this one, you can also get the little bump where he just goes upwards and you'll just immediately go in the goop. So be careful to not die on this one. So yeah, unpause, hold the stick neutral for a little bit, and then hold inwards. And you should make that. That is one of the higher ones I've gotten. That's pretty good. Also, I'm going to teach you how to squabble with some birds here. You can use an audio cue, but right as they swoop in on you, you want to hit square. Basically like that. I'll show you again. I have infinite health on. Kind of like that. The moment they attack you, you attack back. Like that. Like that, pretty much. You can either trade with them, or, like, Ideally, you want to run past this. It's RNG, basically. But yeah, you want to land here. And if they start attacking you, you can, like, hit them once like that. But these next ones, sometimes they get in the way as well. So I look over here. And then this guy's not attacking me. This guy might be in the way. We're fine. So here's position 4. You get this guy. So luckily, whenever you're standing at the edge of this rail, these birds won't be in the way. But I would try to kill him if he's right in the way of your proxy, because you can auto-target one of the birds if you're right next to this. So what you want to do is you want to get position 4, then turn around and kill the bird if it's in the way of your setup, because you'll, again, auto-lock onto it. Like, if he's here, you should probably kill him like that. But if he's away, leave him alone. You know, most of the time he won't be a problem. So the lineup here is this little tiny spike in the wall again, like this little polygon that's jutting out, like right here, basically. You can see it. It's right next to this little grass area here. So we'll get that guy out of the way. You want to punch into that, and then put these 2 bushes that's in front of you in the middle of the screen. And now you want to do an in-level movie ledge proxy again. This one, again, is not too tight. Again, the earlier you press, the better, but if you get a frame 2 or a frame 3 on this one's pretty lenient. So what you want to do on this one is the same thing. Let Clank fly for a little bit, and then start hovering at the top. Try to hover to the right of the infobot. Like, don't fly straight towards the infobot. Fly a little bit to the right, because not only is the line shorter to the next area, if you go to the left, you'll have a ship spawn up here in this area, and he'll shoot missiles at you. And the only way to block it is to either wait at this corner for him, or is to turn the camera around and block it with the camera to walk backwards like this, which can still end up getting, like, you can still get hit by that. So that's position 5. Now for position 6 and 7, this is the hardest part of Poki Skip. So what you want to do is you want to get position 6. So now we only have 7 left. And the goal is to get all the way up to the top. So the first thing you want to do is get up on this pipe here. Punch to the left. This one doesn't work all the time for me. I've yet to find a super consistent setup. But I use this pipe up here. Like, whenever I've walked all the way up and punched to the right. You want to get this nearly off screen. Just have it show a little bit. That's my lineup right now. Just show a little bit. And now you want to punch backwards and just go for it. Usually works most of the time. And then you'll end up here. Now, this is the hardest part of the skip, is the very last bit. This is the highest ledge proxy you need. You need to get all the way up to that pipe. And it's not easy to do this. And then the jump afterwards is very chokeable. The lineup is very, you know, just on the nose, kind of like, you know, you just want to feel it out. So, there's this slant on this wall here that goes all the way from down here all the way up to up here. You want to stand about in the middle of it at the edge, and maybe a little bit towards the top. So I always like look at this line and I start punching backwards from it. Although it doesn't really matter. You just want to be in the middle top region of this ledge. Some people do it all the way at the tip like this. I find that the camera doesn't like getting stuck when I do that. So I like being more here. More in this region. Line it up where the thickest line that's over here, like you see how there's like these 2 thin lines here? This one's a little thicker. You want to get that one to the edge, like that. That's how you want to do it. You want to get that one to the edge. Now, you see this one over here. Get that one off screen. Get that off screen like that. Perfect. Now you want to look down, and then you want to do the same thing as before. Get the camera below, punch downwards, and then you want to do X and turn in at the same time, just like before. And you want to press start the frame you get this. I think this is a frame perfect trick. It might be a 2-framer, but you don't have much of a wiggle room. So that's not going to work. You see that? That's not going to work. It's a very precise pause timing. I'm going to try again. Line this up. Get that off screen. So I'll show you that's like a frame 5 or a frame 4. That's not close either. You're going to need to get the best frame. And this can take a while. This is a very difficult... This is the most difficult section of Poki Skip, but it's very learnable, and it's only hard because you have to hit start on 1 frame. There we go. Again, I think I was on frame... I'm going to call it frame 0. So Clank hadn't even left the floor yet. I'm a little bit high on the ledge here, more than I'd like to be, but that might work. There we go. Once you're at the peak, you want to try... Oh, that's really lucky. So the most important thing is when you're grabbing this pipe is you want to grab it as parallel as you can. Do not try to grab the pipe at an angle. If you do that, Clank will grab the pipe and let go automatically. That'll happen a lot. I will actually show you on a save state here. So let me just set a save state on Rackman. Boom, saves position. I'm going to just jump off here and grab the pipe at like that angle. You see that? A lot of the time when you grab the right side of the pipe too, he'll do that. So you'll grab this part right here and he'll let go. That's probably because he's grabbing the thicker screw part that's up here. You see? You want to be grabbing it as parallel as you can. You can also grab... Yeah, see? If you grab at an angle, he'll let go. But what you want to do now is when you're on the pipe is you want to do another edge of screen setup. There's a ring here. All of these setups are like I've basically kind of come up with them on my own. So feel free to tweak them if you don't like them at all. You know, like it's not like this isn't a de facto how you do it. It's just I've labbed these out, and so I want to teach my knowledge to you all, basically. So this one is the one we want to look at. You want to get the camera all the way to the left, right, there. You want to line this up so that this is at the edge of the screen. This one is a little precise, I've noticed. If I'm over here, or if I'm over here, I don't think this one works. So I like having it right on the money on this one. Then what you want to do is, another thing is I like standing on this. It's not super precise, but you want to be standing on, like, you don't want to be standing up here. You know, you want to be standing on the bottom line here, and then you want to line it up. Now, this is very chokeable. Again, I have a save state here, so I can show you multiple times, but I'm going to show you exactly why it's chokeable. So when you line this up and you do the ledge proxy, you hit the ceiling. That's right above you. I just straight up failed it there, but I'll show you again here. So let's line this up. Stand right there. Line it up. You see how, like, you hit the ceiling there? That's because you hit the ceiling that's above you, and the only way to actually make it is to get the proxy and jump out of it. So the game thinks you're grounded for quite a bit whenever you're flying upwards in the proxy. So what you want to do is you want to do the proxy and then hit X. And again, if you need a timing window for like how soon X is after square, look at my input display. So you want to line it up, punch down, like that. And then you want to press X and then glide over here. That's the only way you can make it. There's actually one other way to make it, but I do not recommend it. Is you can get up on this screw area, I believe, maybe? But you can basically big clank jump it, which is just kind of, you know, getting a one frame off of this ledge right here. Like, that is possible, getting the one frame there and then making it all the way up. That is possible. It's just very, very hard, and I do not recommend it. So one more time, line it up right here, line it up to the edge, punch down, proxy, and jump out of it and glide. The angle where it ends seems to be right at this line, maybe. But, you know, I landed like all the way up here, and you can land all the way down there. So that's kind of the line that you have. So it's lenient, but you do need to hit your jumps. Like that. And with that, you can go ahead and grab your infobots of Planet Hoven. And that is Poki Skip on console, on PS3, in New Game Plus. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Sorry if some things were a little bit unclear. Feel free to leave a comment if you're curious about some things that, you know, because like sometimes when, you know, I've been playing this game for a while, so some things just feel so natural to me that I just forget to explain them. But if I wasn't clear on anything, leave a comment below. Or if you're interested in playing Ratchet, join the Discord. And you can also ask questions in the Discord about speedrunning this game. So thank you guys for watching. And I stream... I'm going to be streaming Ratchet 1 for about the next month or so. I'm going to be trying to improve my time with Pokiskip on my Twitch. I stream 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, starting at about 12 p.m. +1 GMT. So tune into my stream, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you all, and if you need more tutorials, let me know. Adios.